So here it is. I'm Eric Roberts. I'm from Apex. I'm a piano technician here in Nashville. I tune for everybody from John Legend to Mark Lowry. Oh, he's a comedian. Larry Miller, Harry Connick Jr. Even work with Garth Brooks, Michael Webb, Hank Williams Jr., Reese Winans, who plays for Joe Bonamassa now, Petra, Toby Mac, Train Plus One, Craig Morgan. He's what I love about Sunday. I also work for Neon Cross Studios, which is run by Jay Joyce. He does Miranda Lambert, Keith Urban, and I've worked on projects with him for Eric Church, the Black Crowes, Orville Peck, Lanco, and many others. I was even called in a couple months ago to do a private event with Coldplay, and this is some of the pictures of that event. There's the piano tuning right there. So here's my family. Married, my wife, and my little boy. He's actually going to turn 13 soon, and my little puppy Bear. I guess Bear is in here. He's with me. He's laying there. He's taking a nap right down there. But my wife's a homeschool mom. She's a stay-at-home mom, and we're a single-income family. And the reason that we can do that is because I found piano tuning. I don't know why that just happened. I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's what I want. All right, so people look at me and they say, are there really enough pianos to make a full-time living? And yes, there absolutely are. And you can see you are in the right place right now, because I was just talking to my tow truck driver today. One of my cars was being towed and to the shop, not because I parked illegally, but anyway, he was telling me, I was like, oh, you guys, there's not very many piano tuners anymore. I'm like, no, they're all in their 70s, 80s, 90s. Not all of them, generally a lot of them. They're retiring and passing away, and that's it. They're leaving all their customers behind. Schools, university, churches, music school, music teachers, recording studios, all these places. They're all retiring. They're turning off their phones and they're gone. So you're in the right place. And my local business I've been in business 18 years. We have over 100 5-star ratings in Nashville and Dayton, Ohio, and Nashville, Tennessee. In 2025, we did 773 appointments. That's pulling on about 17 new clients every month. That's not like huge, but it's good. I mean, we did over 700 tuning appointments. Average appointments are about $200. This is not including big repairs. And you can see that we have over 5,000 clients in my thing. In 2021, I paid my part-time guy. Basically, he works 3 days a week, and he made $79,000. He only works 3 days a week. All right. So, how did I get here? We're gonna keep watching. I'm gonna show you how I got here and how you can duplicate my success, and then I'm gonna reveal the Apex Business Launch Framework. Again, stay to the end because this is Black Friday, and it is gonna be absolutely amazing. And I'm gonna show you guys how we did it, and I want to show you some of my students. Now, first of all, TJ, he made $50,000 in his first year. He started the mentorship about 2 years ago, and today I was talking to somebody and they were saying like, well, how much money can you make? How much do you make? And I was kind of giving him some examples. He started the mentorship about 2 years ago. He started tuning after 2 months. So he quickly got in there, started tuning after just 2 months, and then he made over $50,000 his first year. He owns Oak and Ivory Piano Company. Here's his website. Now, the good thing is on the homepage now, you can actually go and click on these websites, look at these people. You know, I had somebody a couple weeks ago say, is this a scam? Is this a scam? It's like, no, we are real people. These are real businesses all across the country and even in Canada and even and we have a school in Singapore as well. But like these are real people that are doing real business. Hey man, hey Marketing Made Easy, what's up, man? How's it going? And now I finally know who you are, so that's great. Then this is Karina Hogan. She started a couple years ago. She was just a waitress doing like regular jobs and realized on her own, I think I can do piano tuning, and she stumbled onto Apex, and now she runs Greenway Piano in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. This is Emerson Gale. He's a piano technician in the upper Northeast. Look, he's a music educator, but he's also now a certified Apex Tech, and he's able to make $600 a day when he goes out teching. Now, he's also teaching. He's got students, but piano tuning changed my life, absolutely changed my life and these people's lives. And for one of the biggest things it did for me was it gave me time for my family. I have to share this, and it's really a core part of what I do in my own life and what I really, why I launched this mentorship. I was standing by the refrigerator of a guy after I tuned his piano, waiting for him to write a check. And I was looking up there, I was looking at his kids. I was like, oh, you got these kids? And he's like, yeah, they're gone. I've got kids. They grown up and now they're out of the house. And he said, but I didn't see my kids very much. I worked 60 hours a week my whole life and I didn't see my kids. And he just like kind of looked at me like, and now they're gone and I'm just here just retired. You know, it's a weird feeling. And he just said to me, this is early on when I first started, he said, like, don't do that. Don't work so much that you miss your kids and you miss your whole life and you turn around and it's gone. And I think it does that. That was over almost 20 years ago. I had that conversation with him. My son was about probably 1 when I had that conversation. I started taking off when he was about 6 months old every Thursday, called them daddy days, and we did everything. This is us bowling in the middle of a day. This is him, MTSU Studios with me. I took him to work with me, and then we would go, out and eat and do all this stuff and just run around. That's days that, like maybe that I got called in for an emergency tuning and said, all right, let's go tune a piano before we could do our fun stuff. And this is one of my favorite pictures of him and me. This is what it did for me. It freed up my time and my money for my life. And this is a coffee shop that we would go to every week. We'd eat pizza, get coffee, and this is the foundation of my life. This is the best part of my life right here. This right here is being able to still make enough money to live my life and not be tied down to a job or tied down to somebody who's telling me what to do all the time or making me do stuff or making me go to meetings and everything else like that. And I'll tell you that before I was a piano tuner, I'll tell you my story about how I got there in a minute. You'll see it. But a day in the life. Come with me as a piano tuner. What do? We tune pianos, and I'm a field tech, and that's what I teach in my mentorship is field teching, tuning, regulation, repair, voicing. This is a field tech thing. That's what we're doing. Remember, if you have questions about anything, put them in the comments because I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be answering the comments and showing them tonight. But I'll drive. I'll meet clients. I work on beautiful pianos. I play music. I get paid. It's really what I do. I kind of go around and I'm kind of just like bouncing around town. And now I live in Nashville about 8 years now. I've gotten to see a lot of the city. This is me looking over the Nissan Stadium. This is in a townhouse above the Nissan, across the river from the Nissan Stadium, working on a big piano. This house actually, townhouse was, the windows were blown out when they had the bomb those years ago in Nashville. Let's talk about the money I make. Like, so if I'm gonna leave the house around 9:30, I tune a piano, and all my prices are $225 for a standard tuning. I'll take a break. I'll tune another piano at 12 o'clock with the pitch raise. Maybe that one will be $325. Maybe eat lunch, repair a pedal, and tune a piano at 3 o'clock, $275. And I made $875, and I'm really not even working a full day. I mean, a lot of people are already at work by 6, and they get off at like 5. I don't even go in until 10 or 11 whenever I want to. And so that's just sort of somewhat of the income that you can do on a very relaxed schedule. And that's really more than I was making in an entire week when I had a real job. So I did have a job, and I lost my job when my boss, who was a pastor, I was a music director, a big church, big, job, band, all this stuff. And he called me in on a Monday, and I thought, something's wrong. Cause usually pastors, they don't hang out on Mondays anytime, they're always at home because Sundays are big. So that's like their day off. So he said, hey, I need to meet you on Monday. And I was like, I knew something was going on. I knew the church was struggling financially. And he sat me down. He said, hey, look, I'm sorry, Sunday, like yesterday, that was your last day. Like, we're going to give you a couple weeks severance, and we're sorry, you got to go. And so that was it. That was it. I had already started training with my mentor in piano tuning, and I thought, you know what? I'm just not going to go get another job. I didn't like having a job anyway. So if I could just get one tuning a day, one single tuning a day, I would be great. And so a lot of you guys who are asking me, like, how can I spin this up? How can I get this going? Well, just make small goals. Hey, I was broke at that point. It was like, okay, I got a couple weeks severance, and then that's it. I don't have a job anymore. But I knew my mentor, Jack, was making $600 a day. He told me that. He got me into tuning. I had kind of already learned to tune. I'd tuned a few pianos, and I thought, you know what? If Jack can do it, and if I can do it, if I can just get one tuning a day, I told my wife, we'll be fine, and I'll make it. And you know what? I started going, and I finally did. I started getting like one tuning a day, and I'll show you what happened. If you can get one tuning a day, that's 5 pianos a week. And back then I was only charging $150. That's a very low fee compared to like the national average now. But this is, depending on what city you're in, you can be anywhere between $150 to $350 maybe for a tuning. And some people can get even more than that. So at 5 tunings a week, you're not even working. Now, guys, this is $750 a week income. That's about what I was making at my full-time job, and the yearly income working about 10 hours a week is $37,000. Now this was 20 years ago, right? Now this is different now because my fee now is $225. Okay, so it's gone up quite a bit. So is everything else. So this would be like considered, I think, like a side hustle, a weekend warrior, growing it to full time, right? So if you want to turn up the gas, once I got that one tuning a week, and I was like, okay, I'm not broke, I'm not getting kicked out of my house, I'm still paying my mortgage. I thought, but I'm not working that much. I was working like 10 hours a week. I said, hey, you know what? If I could get 9 tunings a week, I'd make a lot more money. I get up to 80,000. That'd be even better than what I was making before. And so I did. I just started working harder and harder. And the people that I got the year before, they started the second year, they needed tuning. So I'd call them and I'd get more work. Realizing right now that the per capita in the income for the U.S. in 2020, right down here, is $59,000 in 2020. $59,000. With this kind of a gig, kind of a job, whatever you want to call it, business, venture, you can work 10 pianos a week and make about 80,000. That's well above the per capita income for the United States in 2020. And if you want to go big, and a lot of people do, raise up your tuning fee to $175 or even $225. Get 15 tunings a week, and you've got a weekly income of $2,600. Do some repairs and upsells like regulations and voicings, things like that. Work really hard, and you're getting up into the over 6 figures in piano tuning, and that's really how you say goodbye 9 to 5. You don't have to work anymore, and nobody's telling you what to do. All right, man. Have a good day. Have a good day. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. Yeah, we chatted last week. So with Apex, I can take the guesswork out of running a business. If you say, well, I've never run a business, and we know that a lot of businesses fail, we can take the guesswork right out of running a business. But it's a simple business system. Piano tuning is not like a rocket science business system. I mean, you launch your Apex-style piano tuning website, you put up some Google ads, run some Facebook lead ads, then you get an automated system like Gazelle to take people in off those social media sites and off the website and get them on your calendar, and you go tune, and you can make $175 to $275 profit right there. You can do upsells and repairs. And so you say, well, what do I need then? What am I going to need? Okay, a minimum, you're going to need a tuning hammer and some mutes, okay? And then you're going to need this little app, which I'm going to give you a link for this at the end. I got a link for a free. You can get this app for free. And even if you buy the pro version, it's like $50. So you need a little bit of tools right there. You have that. And then you can go out and tune pianos. Like I said, I use an automated business system. I can get a steady form of customers coming in. They find me on Google. They go in and they book us, and that's how the modern tuners are working. So what is different about Apex? I mean, you may have seen other schools online. You may have seen other ways to learn. You might even think, oh, I could go on YouTube and I could learn how to do this. You know what I mean? This would be good. Yeah, well, let me answer that question, Daniel. Is there any reason a starting tuner should charge less than an experienced tuner? I don't think so. And when you're in my mentorship, I'll help you find your price. And what I like to do is find the most expensive tuner in the area. And I like my students, their first out the gate, to charge about what they're charging. Now, there are like premium tuners. Maybe, let's say the average price of a tuning is like $150 in your area. Okay, there might be somebody charging $299 or $295, some guy who's like really high level. Or there might be some people charging $100. You want to be in the upper level, maybe not like that premium guy, but that's sort of an outlier. Most people are going to charge around $150 to $225 nationwide on a tuning. So you want to be right there. What you don't want to do is come out and charge like $95, because then people just think, oh, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. So we'll talk about pricing, but no, yes, you want to charge as much as the average, even a little above the average. And I teach you all about that psychology and how to really, you want to make more money. You have to live, and you want the psychology of being the best, and you can't do that with a basement price. So also, when you charge like a lower price, you get all kinds of lower crappy pianos and customers that don't want to pay for repairs, and so it's really hard. The difference about Apex, though, is I teach the ETD method completely. It's a simple ETD tuning app like AccuTuner, TuneLab, or that PianoScope, Pianometer. The oral method takes years to learn, decades, and I'm not going to harp on this ear thing too much, but a lot of people say, oh, you got to tune by ear and all this stuff. Well, we're hybrid tuners. We use the computer. We use modern methods, the most modern methods to tune a piano, and the secret is the AccuTuner, all right? So when you launch with Apex, you can launch fast. Typically within 3 to 6 months, you're able to launch and start tuning. Some people do it quicker, but like 3 to 6 months would be a fast launch to me. A field tech mentorship, so you're never alone. You're going to have lifetime support. And because of the electronic tuning device, the ETD method, you can skip all the years of struggle. You can skip all these terrible tunings. You can skip all the negative reviews, people saying he doesn't know how to tune a piano. You can skip all the guesswork. Your computer will tell you that you are doing a good job. You'll know how to tune. You'll know how to have perfect control of a tuning hammer, the most stable tunings, and you will have the best, most modern tools. Trust me, Apex is the way to go. I don't know if I got that in here, but there's a lot on the internet about that, and a lot in some of my other webinars. I won't go into it. The big four is what I'm teaching you. Jack, he was my mentor, and he's the one who got me into it. He was the one that told me, hey, I'm making $600 a day. And I didn't tell that full story in this webinar, but when I first started, I'd go to Jack and I'd say, hey man, I want to do this. I want to do that. What if I sold pianos? What if I did this? What if I came up with all these ideas, and Jack was like, hey, no, you need to tune, repair, regulate voice. He knew how to make money, and he was the guy in my town making the most money. I think he had almost 6,000 clients. He was the president of the Master Piano Technicians Guild of America, and he kind of brought me in there under his wing and taught me everything he knew. He passed away a couple years ago. So Jack is really one of the cornerstone foundations of this mentorship, what he taught me. And Tim was my other mentor, great mentor, and still a good friend, still living, Tim. And he's retired now. He was an airplane mechanic and also taught tuned pianos at night. So we teach the four main methods of tuning, and then we teach repair in module 2, regulation, and voicing. All right, there's 4 main modules, and then there's a business launch module and a VIP mentorship. Is there any, let's see here, I was reading some things here. So that's really what's in the mentorship. So you're never alone in the mentorship. It's not a course. It is a real mentorship. For reals, it's one-on-one. You can text me, chat me, call me. In fact, most of these guys and girls that have taken the mentorship become really good friends of mine. They are a direct link to my phone, and so they're just texting me stuff, and they'll text me pictures of pianos. Kind of like when I started, when I was with Jack, I got out in the field right away. I wanted money. Remember, I was broke. They laid me off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. I go out. I start tuning a piano. I'm like, what in the world? This key is sticking to. So I just call Jack. Hey, Jack, and he'd be like, well, what kind of piano is it? Or, what's it doing? Is the hammer getting stuck this way? Do this, do that. And I'd say, okay, and I'd hang up and I'd fix it. And so now in this mentorship over these last several years, I've been doing the same thing with you guys in the mentorship. You call me, you text me, you send me a video, I look at it, and literally I can just stop, pull over, look at it, look at the video, and in a couple seconds say, oh yeah, you know what, by the way, on this piano you need to do this, boom, done, paid. So your mentorship is ongoing with me, and so we want to get you in the field as soon as possible, but you also can't jump out there without support, okay? Somebody asked me today, how do I get hands-on training? I said, well, you're going to get hands on your piano, and then you're going to get out there and you're going to hands-on other people's pianos while you're making money. You're also going to connect and grow with an online community. It's a growing community. I think it's probably the best community for this world of piano tuning, especially for guys and gals who are wanting to do really high-level work, do this really 4-tiered piano work in the field, and so you're going to have access to the alumni community. You're going to learn every detail of the piano trade, of that field tech trade. You're going to join the exclusive Apex Technicians Network, and you'll also be listed right away. I'm going to begin in 2026 listing everybody, even if you're in training. So you'll have a listing on the website. It'll sort of start boosting your SEO. We'll get ready to launch your business. And so let's get into this. How do I start? And sort of like the roadmap. And I got to let my dog out. All right, goodbye. Goodbye, go. All right, my puppy, he scratches on the door like he wants out. So there is. Remember, ask any questions you want as we're doing this live. Even if you ask them later, and I'm like tomorrow, if you're watching the replay, I will go ahead and answer you, and you can always text me as well. So let's go through this map. Okay, Road to Success, 1 year. Enroll and learn to tune pianos. That's your first step. Okay, this is year 1. Step 2, your milestone in the step 1 is get a piano down to about 90 minutes, okay? You'll know when you're ready to tune somebody's piano because you'll be able to tune through a piano in less than 90 minutes, okay? That's a standard. If it's taking you 3 hours to tune a piano, which it probably will the first one, you just need to be making decisions quicker and more precise. And when you get that way, you'll know you're ready to go out there. So number 2, launch your business. Continue to study repairs and start earning money working right away. And so in this mentorship, I'm going to try to get you working and making money as soon as possible. That's extremely important because this isn't a hobby or something we're just doing for fun. This is something that we're doing as a business, and that's really important. That's the Apex way is really about making money, being a full service field tech. All right. Then number 3, you're going to get certification. You're going to keep building your business, and you're going to enter the Master Tech program, and you're going to become a certified master piano technician. All right. So those are kind of the 3 steps. Look what Joe did. Joe Bovey, he started. I think this is the beginning of year 3 for him. In May, he did $5,000 in tunings. He upsold over $25,000 in action regulations and rebuilds in May and June. Now, Joe took the mentorship, and he also went on and became a registered piano technician. He's a certified Apex Tech. He's going to become a Master Tech this year. I believe he'll be in a Master Tech certification probably in the beginning of 2026. In fact, Joe did such an amazing job, got such high marks on his PTG exam that I invited Joe in, and he made an entire oral tuning course, the Apex Way course, and it's for you. And you'll get that in Module 1. If you want to learn that oral tuning method, kind of for me, it's more like just a deeper level of learning. I don't use it in the field. I really don't. I use my AccuTuner and stuff. I use my ears, a lot, but I don't use the oral tuning method to tune day by day. But you're going to learn it if you want to. It's going to be available to you in the mentorship. Now, Joe said about me, he said, Eric's at Apex is an amazing way to get started and to really learn what it's actually like to do the trade. He tells you how it is, and he's an amazing teacher. Thank you, Joe. He tells you, so he said, Eric made the scary and daunting task of tuning a piano something I can tackle with confidence and go in and believing. And actually, I believe this because Joe said that the people that graded his RPT test thought that they didn't realize he'd only been tuning orally for like 6 months. He had learned how to set such strong and solid tunings through the Apex Way that he told me on the phone I never could have done it without Apex. I mean, he scored like so high. They were like, "How long you been doing this?" He's just basically mastered it so fast. But the way I teach in the regular like ear tuning when we're using the AccuTuner or the TuneLab, I'm teaching you how to really really set tunes. And the device will teach you too. It tells you exactly when you're on and off. So Joe uses the device in his oral tuning to sort of help you know exactly when you're on. So the roadmap to success looks like this, guys. Year 1, your first step is you're going to learn to tune a piano in Module 1. You're going to learn common repairs in Module 2. And you're going to, after those 2 modules, you earn your first certification as a certified piano technician. Okay, that's your first certification will be CPT. And I need to put that in there so you guys can see it. Then you're going to launch your business right away, start making money, and build your business and skills to do field work. And I want you to reach about 100 clients in that first year. That would be a way to do it. I know TJ said at the end of his first year was at like over 180 clients. All right, that's huge. That's massive growth. That's faster and more massive than I ever did. That took me like a couple years to get there. Then in year 2, you're going to start your Master Tech mentorship. You're going to continue to build your business. You're going to learn how to do regulation of the action, and that's where you go in. There's all the little screws, and you make the action work. You make the keys work right, the action feel right, and it's where you can make a lot of extra money. You're going to learn voicing in Module 5, and that's something that people really, in the last couple years, I've seen more voicing courses, but when I learned 18 years ago, nobody would tell you how to voice. In fact, most people didn't even know how to do it. So Jack, my mentor, showed me, and we wrote the book together, Rapid Voicer. Basically, I interviewed him for hours and hours and hours and drew everything out he told me on how to become a master voicer, and that's the Rapid Voicer program. He even created his own tools, and when you see how it's done, I use it all the time. I upsell it. People love it. It's saved me so many times because in the very beginning, people would say, "Oh, my piano's bright," and I was like, I don't know how to fix that, So you want to double your business and increase your income. This whole program pays for itself. Once you reach 200 clients, you want to keep working the system, do your field work, upsells, and become a master piano technician. All right. You say, okay, well, this is all good. I want to do this, but you know what? I'm just going to do it on YouTube. Look, that's fine. I can tell you from my experience, I would never be where I'm at right now if I tried to learn this trade on YouTube. It's a minefield of garbage. Now, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't teach you all of those secret techniques, and I'm not mentoring you on YouTube. You know what I mean? Neither are any of these people. They'll show you how to do this, how to do that, whatever, but they're not going to, it's so much different. So I know that for me, YouTube I never could have gotten there, and I don't think any of my students who are like having huge success right now ever would have made it on YouTube because they just would have never known what I know. They would have never been able to put it all together. Now, some people could do it, but there's a ton of pitfalls. In fact, most of the videos I see of people trying to tune a piano on YouTube, they don't even know how to sit correctly at the piano. So just trust me. All right, YouTube's cool, but a lot can go wrong. And so you think, well, maybe I'll just think about it. A lot of people do that. I'll just think about this. And this is called indecision. What indecision costs you guys is independence, control, flexibility, financial gain. It costs you passion and creativity. It costs you life impact because you can sit forever thinking about something. And some people do, but I hope you won't. I hope you won't sit forever thinking about what you're going to do next, because nobody's going to do it for you. You're going to have to make the decision to do it. And I hope you will. Look at this. 60% of people who got a bachelor's degree took them 6 years. Okay. And in that 6 year, the average cost of tuition was over $200,000. Okay. All right. When they got out of college after almost 6 years and $200,000 of debt, they're able to get a job making $47,000, because that's the median starting salary for college graduates, okay? I want you to think back to TJ. He started this program. I'll roll back to his slide because this is important. So you see what's happening. I want to roll back to TJ. Started this after 2 months. He started tuning, and in his first year, he had cleared $50,000. That's more than the average college graduate will get offered for their first job. Now, TJ didn't have $200,000 worth of debt because he just started the mentorship and started training. The mentorship paid for itself over and over and over and over again that first year for him. All right, now he's in his third year now. It's a no-brainer. This costs less than going to college. You can start faster. You can make more money than going to college. And you can become certified through Apex. And like my dad always says, and this is just for my dad, he passed away in March, and work smarter, not harder. That's what he always wanted for me. My dad was a skilled tradesman. He was a brilliant toolmaker and a CNC program. He was always learning. I have a whole book full of his certificates. He never stopped learning and getting certificates, and he always made more and more and more money. And he would go to work where other guys were in the grease and they were on the line doing all the production and stuff at GM. He would go into his office, open up his computers, play with his computer stuff, go out and learn. And by the end of his career, he was the head of the whole shop, because he was the guy that was studying the computers and the cutting edge stuff. And he was just a toolmaker by trade, okay? But he was able to work smarter, not harder. That's what this shows you. You can work a lot of manual labor jobs, and they're not bad. But this guy over here that's tuning the piano, he's sitting in a nice white clean t-shirt, or a dress shirt, sorry. He is sitting there in a multi-million-dollar building working on a $100,000 concert grand, and he's getting paid probably like $200 an hour, where these people are sweating their butts off working, doing hard work. Now, this is not bad. This is not bad. Guys, I'm not saying that manual labor is bad. We need the manual labor. I'm saying I would rather sit in the air conditioner and work on a nice piano than lay tile. I've done both. I've done both. I would rather do this. All right. So it's one small step today. One small step today. What are you going to get today? What are you going to do? And here's how we're going to do it. This is Black Friday deals, so I'm going to roll this out. And these are Black Friday and holiday specials. So these will be going on, but right now I don't know when they will end. And but if this is up and you're watching it, then they're still going. All right. Here's what you're going to get: VIP access, weekly live stream sessions, archives, all the playbacks, lifetime access. You go at your own pace, step-by-step lessons, the foundation of becoming a master tech, module 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all modules, you're going to get certification. You're certified piano technician and your certified master piano technician certificate, one-on-one help from me, community access, tool supply account. And there's other bonuses. I'm not listing them all here. There's more, but I can't list them all. I didn't want the webinar to be forever. Google Drive access. So you're going to get all my templates, all my done-for-you templates, all my Gazelle templates, all my business cards, all my postcard reminders, everything I've ever done. I put it in there, guys, because I'm giving you everything I've ever done over 18 years. Car magnets, designs, everything. All my Canva templates, all my invoicing templates, everything. You get all of that in the Business Boost. And this month, as we started running Facebook lead ads, we just started recording more videos, and I started showing my students in the mentorship how to run their own lead ads. I even made videos that they could just run in their city. All those are in there too. That's why this is so important, because it's everything you're going to need to become successful. You're going to get all the modules: tuning, the repair module, the business launch, the master tech regulation and voicing. And I'm going to give you in this webinar bonus, you'll get a link for a free version of Piano Meter. So you can go on Piano Meter's website and you can get the free version of Piano Meter, and I'll give you that link. So if you go on to apexpiano.com, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in the, I'm going to put this right here so you guys have it in all of the platforms. You can go right here, right now. Thanks for watching.